Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that directly hits your bottom line, yet, honestly, it flies completely under the radar for so many businesses. We're talking about your digital reputation. More specifically, we're going to unpack the massive impact that unmanaged Google reviews have on your local SEO and ultimately your corporate revenue. And to break this all down, we'll be using the operational framework from Clear My Name to see exactly how this works behind the scenes. So let's just jump right in.
Let me ask you something, and I really want you to think about this. How much revenue is an unmanaged negative review silently stealing from your business before a potential customer even clicks through to your website, right? As an executive or a business owner, you meticulously track everything: acquisition costs, ad spend, conversion rates. But what happens when the public narrative about your company is just left totally unchecked, right there on the search results page?
Well, the answer to how much control you have over your lead conversion in that scenario is zero. Exactly zero. When you let negative customer sentiment dominate your Google search results, your marketing budget is essentially just smashing into a brick wall of public distrust. You literally have zero control over that absolutely crucial first impression if you aren't in there actively managing it. To really wrap our heads around this, we kind of need to redefine what a review actually is. Most people just think, it's passive feedback, right? Like a digital suggestion box. But in reality, it is all about what we call entity credibility. Google's local algorithm is actively evaluating the quality of your reviews, how often they're coming in, and, this is key, how consistently you respond to them. These are direct ranking factors. They're not just words sitting on a screen, they are quite literally the architectural framework of your local search visibility. As the research so perfectly puts it, reviews operate as active reputation signals that influence local pack visibility, click-through rates, and user trust. That is huge because it means the public perception of your authority, your reliability, and your service quality, it's all fully formed in the search results long before anyone even visits your website. Think about that. If a customer loses trust right there on the search engine results page, it doesn't matter how beautiful or highly optimized your website is because they're never going to see it. Which brings us to the cost of inaction, or the hidden revenue killer. When you ignore negative reviews, the behavioral and algorithmic consequences just cascade incredibly fast. Imagine a loyal customer, right? They're just searching for your phone number, but then they see a fresh, totally unanswered one-star review claiming your team is unresponsive. You aren't just losing the one angry person who wrote that review. You are creating an environment of increased perceived transaction risk for literally everyone else looking at that page. And that leads to massive spikes in lead abandonment. Plus, your local search visibility drops because the algorithm detects a lack of engagement. And maybe the most critical part, which businesses miss all the time, is that your existing customers see these unresolved complaints, interpret them as service instability, and boom, your customer lifetime value takes a huge hit. There's a core behavioral truth here, and it's that customers rely on public sentiment as a decision shortcut. Let's face it, we are all busy. We don't have the time to thoroughly vet every single local business we use, so we use reviews to make snap judgments. Regardless of how good your real-world service quality actually is, leaving negative feedback unchecked fundamentally breaks trust. It just makes your business look operationally inconsistent, and the direct result of that is a steep increase in your customer acquisition costs. So, you're basically faced with two paths. On one side, you've got reactive damage control. That's the absolute chaos of scrambling to put out fires and fix isolated complaints way after the damage has already been done. On the other side, though, you have proactive reputation optimization. This is where absolute commercial stability lives. It's all about having structured, proactive governance over your digital ecosystem before those negative narratives can even escalate. Let's look at how to actually do that with the Clear My Name methodology, which provides a really structured solution. This structured solution is built on a three-stage operational framework. Stage 1 is continuous monitoring and sentiment detection, so catching things the second they happen. Stage 2 is strategic response management. That means actually having a professional, standardized framework for how you reply. And Stage 3 is reputation signal optimization, which takes this whole process and turns it into a measurable local SEO asset that continuously strengthens your entity credibility. Clear My Name uses early sentiment detection to actually quantify that emotional customer feedback. So you can see right off the bat exactly what percentage of the conversation is positive, neutral, or negative. Fast detection minimizes your visibility exposure. It gives your business the chance to step in, address concerns, and stop a negative narrative dead in its tracks before it becomes your dominant search result. You are literally stopping a PR crisis before it can even form.
Now, a super quick word on how do you respond, because this is absolutely vital. If someone writes a detailed, heartfelt complaint about a terrible experience and you reply with some robotic, copy-pasted, "We are sorry for the inconvenience, please call our 1-800 number," that generic response actively destroys your credibility. It shows zero accountability. Strategic responses, on the other hand, are carefully crafted to reinforce professionalism and operational clarity. They prove to search users and the algorithm that you have high customer care standards. It's all about restoring trust.
Now, of course, we need to talk about executive concerns and overcoming the hesitation. Business leaders rightly demand measurable outcomes and risk mitigation before throwing money at a new service, right? You need to know this isn't just some fluffy marketing tactic. So let's methodically break down how the Clear My Name solution answers those valid concerns. For cost justification, it actively stops long-term revenue loss and lead abandonment. Speed of impact, you start seeing immediate confidence signals the second your high-quality responses go live. What about transparency? You get crystal clear reporting on review trends and visibility. And crucially, when it comes to compliance, the entire service is built on ethical trust restoration. That means absolutely no manipulative tactics that violate platform policies.
The core philosophy here is simple. Sustainable reputation management focuses on trust restoration and visibility optimization, rather than manipulative tactics. It is never, ever about short-term, risky suppression tricks that could end up getting your business heavily penalized by Google. It's about building long-term, durable entity credibility.
And that leads us directly into the Clear My Name advantage and how it builds commercial stability.
By actively managing your review ecosystem, you unlock some massive operational advantages. You basically create these protective trust buffers. So if an isolated complaint slips through or you have a temporary service issue, it doesn't just tank your business because your overall ecosystem is strong enough to absorb it. You get sustained SERP control. And amazingly, because your organic trust signals become so incredibly strong, you actually reduce your dependency on paid advertising for trust generation. It's a compounded commercial impact that helps you acquire new customers and keep the ones you already have. Listen, if you are tired of reputational volatility and you are ready to lock in that commercial stability, the next step is crystal clear. Secure your digital visibility by putting a definitive, structured solution in place. You can head over to www.clearmyname.org today to learn exactly how to apply this framework to your own branded search presence. I want to leave you with this highly provocative question to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. Look at your own local search presence right now and ask yourself, who is currently controlling your local search perception? Is it your own structured governance and proactive management? Or is it simply your most frustrated customer? The answer to that question absolutely dictates the future commercial stability of your business. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.